guys, this video is going to be a book review of Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer, which is the first book in a new series by Rick Riordan. Yes, that Rick Riordan who wrote Percy Jackson and the Kane Chronicles and the Heroes of Olympus, and yeah, that's it actually. Of course, this one's starting a new mythology for him. It's Norse mythology, whereas he's done Greek and Egyptian and Roman before. So, a new one. And of course, Percy Jackson is one of my favourites from the last decade or so. So, yeah, I've been hotly anticipating this since I had actually heard of it. And then I got it and I read it in November. So, Magnus Chase is a homeless teenager on the streets of Boston. And he's been living on the streets of Boston for a while. But as the story starts, he is found by his estranged Uncle Randolph, who is a scholar of Norse mythology and Norse history, and tells him that Magnus's dad is, in fact, a Norse god, and that because of that, the creatures that killed his mother are now going to go after him. Magnus's only hope is to find his dad's sword, which was apparently lost. And right as Magnus finds it, he ends up dying in battle against the fire giant Surt. Not joking, immediately after. However, instead of Magnus's soul disappearing or going to heaven, he ends up going to Valhalla, the Norse heaven, where you fight all day and die, and then you come back to life the next morning. There he learns that not all is right with the world, as not only is his dad Frey, who is the god of summer, basically, but also he might be causing Ragnarok to come quicker. That's Ragnarok, the end of the world. So what Magnus has to do is find his dad's sword, the Sword of Summer, and, well, prevent the world from ending because of that. No pressure though. I really enjoyed this book, though it was really quite derivative of Percy Jackson, which was, you know, the first series that Rick Riordan wrote. It's a US-based mythological series featuring a young man who's the son of a god. It's, you know, a thing for Rick Riordan, to be honest. But like the rest of Rick Riordan's books, it was very derivative of the original myths themselves while working towards an original plot. While it is part of the charm of Rick Riordan's work, it can be a bit tiring sometimes. Not that this was entirely one of them. I really enjoyed some of the ideas that Rick brought to the table in this book that he didn't really get a chance to explore in other ones. Other mortal races being able to be demigods like humans do is particularly interesting to me, as the only other mortal races that are shown in the series are the satyrs and Cyclops in Percy Jackson, and I don't feel like they really count like that for that, so it was interesting, and Blitzen being a son of Freya was quite refreshing for me. Similarly, I liked how the Sword of Summer itself was sentient and kind of friendly to Magnus, and he had to actually win its loyalty before it would help him out. It kind of gave a new spin on the mythological sword's new owner in the present day than I'd seen before, and taught me some more myths about Frey's sword than I had really known about before. So another thing that I found quite good was that Rick Riordan is still adding in more diversity to his books, and that's pretty good by me. Sam is an Arab-American Muslim, Hearthstone is deaf and only speaks ASL, and Blitzen breaks some gender norms for both humans and dwarves by being really into fashion. Representation is very important, and I think it's just great that Rick Riordan is using his privilege and influence to address these issues. So, however, I did feel that Magnus in particular was pretty much just an absolute carbon copy of Percy Jackson from the Percy Jackson books. Both were incredibly powerful demigods whose fathers were less prominent in their original myths. Both had strong relationships with their mothers and Annabeth Chase, though of course Annabeth is in fact Magnus's cousin, so maybe not quite the same relationship with Annabeth as each other. And both are, in some ways, pawns of the gods who are trying to just use them for their own ends all the time. And quite a lot of the aspects of their personalities were very similar as well. It felt to me, at least. And that's not to say that these similarities are a bad thing, just that it felt a little bit awkward to do with them, to be honest. Overall, I would say that I enjoyed this book. It had a different take on Norse mythology than I've seen before, and I quite enjoyed it, despite it being quite predictable in some of its character choices. The comment question for this video is, have you read this book? And if you have, what did you think of it? I would love to know what you think, so let me know down below.
I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you remember to like and share it and subscribe to my channel. Click on the thumbnails above to see other videos by me, including my book review of What Alice Forgot by Leon Moriarty and my unboxing of December's Loot Crate that came very, very late. It had the theme of Galaxy though, so that was cool. Bye!